When you understand this one thing about money, you can finally start making a lot of it. I'm Dr. Dan. Let's jump right in. This is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because, just like you, I have a story around money. Here's what happened. I can remember I was in second grade and my dad told me to take my two siblings, my two little sisters, to an ice cream social at our elementary school. And so my mom was working at the ice cream social. My dad allowed me to go. He gave me $3. Three $1 bills. I put them in my pocket. They were for in case of an emergency. He was not expecting me to spend that money. And quite frankly, I don't know why he actually gave it to me. But I remember going there thinking, I'll bring this money back home to my dad and we'll go here and have a good time and he'll be happy, I'll be happy.
Everyone's happy.
And I can remember walking up to the table to enter. And so what I had forgot was that you had to have a ticket in order to get into the event. And my mom had tickets in her pocket. She was serving ice cream in the gymnasium. But being the shy introvert that I was, I didn't have the courage to tell the probably sixth grader taking tickets that I need to go get these tickets for my mom because she has them and she's inside. Instead, I saw the sign that said $1 per student to get in. And so I pulled the $3 out of my pocket and I paid for myself, my sister Amy, and my sister Abby to go into the ice cream social. So we go in, have an amazing time.
Great success.
Don't remember what happened. I don't think we won anything. But we come home an hour later and my dad asks about the $3. And I told him the story that I had to pay for our tickets to get in. And not only was he mad at the fact that I didn't go get the tickets from my mom, but he was mad that I spent those $3.
Get a load of this guy.
And as an 8-year-old, I literally thought that because I spent this money that my dad did not want me to spend, that we may not get groceries that month, or we may not have a car or a house or be able to afford the things that my parents worked so hard to provide for us. And that was probably, without question, the first vivid instinct I had around money, is that it was scarce, that there wasn't enough of it to go around, that it didn't grow on trees. And I think you can probably relate that I didn't have this abundance mentality growing up. My parents were great parents, but I lived with 7 of my siblings, 8 of us, on one income. My dad stayed home with us because it cost too much to have babysitters for 6 or 7 kids. So he stayed home and provided for us at home, where my mom was a nurse. She made $33,000 a year taking care of and providing for 8 kids. We grew up in a loving home and it was a great time, great experience, but my beliefs around money were very skewed. And I'm telling you a story because I know that you can relate and you probably have your own version. That if we don't break these bad limiting beliefs, then you will be shackled to your current understanding and therefore your current ability to make money. So I have since done a deep dive into why I think the way I think about money, how I was raised, and why I have certain programs and limiting beliefs as it pertains to finances. I grew up with parents who had grandparents and their parents that lived through the Great Depression. So if you have parents that have lived, or have grandparents that have lived through the Great Depression, there was a time in history in their life that money was scarce, that you did have to survive, take what you can get. See, that's not the world. That's the way it was for a certain period of time, and if you lived through that, that became your world. And then you pass that worldview onto your children, and that's how I got passed down. So I can either recognize as that's the truth, or that is just their version of the truth that I don't have to accept. And this is where it gets fun. This is where you can remove the shackles of not being able to make the amount of money that you know you are capable of making, or maybe that you see others making. You wonder yourself, how do they make so much money? How do they make it easy to make money? Now, I'm here to tell you, this isn't about making more money to stack piles of it away in your house. We have to know what money is, and that's what I want to propose to you, that if you understand what money is and what it can be used for, so you can change your beliefs, which then allow you to go make it. Because it's nothing more or less than exchange of value. And I'll get to that in a second, but here's what I want to remind you. In 2005, after Hurricane Katrina, the number one thing that increased sales was insurance. home insurance, life insurance, catastrophe insurance, disaster insurance. Why? Because it's this bias that we have in our brain called the association bias. Same thing occurred after 2001. After that, the number one thing that people bought was home security systems. It's because people felt unsafe, and the way they can control that feeling is that they tried to protect their home, which by all means, important thing. Bring security to your home. But it's what we call this association bias. So what I'm saying is when you grow up with an association, a bias around money, that there's not enough and it doesn't grow on trees and take what you can get, you carry that through you, and your brain has become wired to never be able to make an amount of money because you're programmed a different way. The other thing that we're programmed, if you think about this, think about all movies that you grew up. The wealthy business guy was always what? The bad guy. The good guy was always the impoverished person, as if poverty means virtue. But that's what we've been led to believe from a young age. We have all these programs around money that if you don't take the time to break them, you won't be able to make it. I want to prove to you right now that money is spiritual. Now, I didn't say religious. Money is spiritual. You may say, well, what are you talking about? Well, think about this. If I ask this question, this is $1, right? It's dollar bill and a penny. Which one is worth more? The dollar, paper, or this copper penny? So you can kind of tell where I'm going with this. Clearly, this piece of paper is worth less than this copper coin. If you broke down the raw material, this is worth more than this. However, this can buy you more than this can. Actually, 100 times more than this. Why? Because two people agree from a metaphysical, it's not just physical, a metaphysical, above physical, it's a spiritual agreement that we put more value for this than this. This proves that money is spiritual. So what does that even mean for us? That the way you get more of this is to exchange more value, to deliver value, because this is just an exchange of value. Instead of changing chickens for hammer, we decided, hey, let's just have this global currency or this cultural currency, and I can go spend this and get chickens, or spend this same thing and get hammer. It's a value exchange system. That's what currency is. That's what money is. So therefore, the way you get more of it is you provide more value. Money's spiritual. It's a value exchange. How do you get more of it? Is you get more value. This is why I love helping entrepreneurs make more money. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. You making more money means that you provide more value. And in the health space that I come from, well, I believe that every health business owner should be as wealthy as they want because they provide the most value. What will never go away in a society is the idea and the concept and the truth that health is the greatest asset you have, more than a car, more than a timeshare, more than your house, more than a trip, more than a plane, your health. Because if you lose it, you'll pay whatever price to get it back. This goes to show that the value in a culture, the greatest value, is actually in health. And so if you're a health practice owner or a health practitioner or a health and wellness entrepreneur, I'm telling you right now, you should be making a lot of money. Why? Because you provide a lot of value. When I was able to earn a lot of money, more money than I could have ever imagined earning, especially the way I grew up, like I had hand-me-down clothes and we never had name brand food or name brand stuff. That was just the world that I live in. I can understand it. I appreciate my upbringing. I text my mom at least once a quarter, say, Mom, I'm so thankful for the way you raised us. And she's like, we couldn't give you anything. You didn't really have any, advantages. And I'm like, I had all the advantages because I knew what hard work was. I knew what respect was. I knew what honor was. And I did know that, hey, money wasn't going to just be given to you, so you got to go earn it. And I'm still a work in progress where I'm like, security, I think that this provides security when it doesn't, right? It provides resources to make your movement, make your mission, make your purpose, and extend it beyond your wildest dreams. And that's what I want to help you do. If you especially are in the health space, I'm telling you, if you're not making the money, that's because of one of three things. And that's the stuff that we work through that I love doing with my clients, is working through what are the three things. If you're not making the money, it's one of three things, not 10 things, not 16 things, one of three things. And when you figure that out and you fix it, you will make the money that you deserve to be making because you make the impact. Money spiritual, that may be a new one for you, but there's so many programs that we all have and bring to the table around money. When you know where they came from and you know how to break them, you will then raise the ceiling of your possibilities of earning the money that you deserve. One of the many topics, I like this one because it hits me so deeply. And if this hit you deeply or you maybe heard some things you hadn't heard before, Share this video with somebody, with a friend, a colleague, somebody you know needs to hear it, and there'll be more where that came from. I get excited about providing this content, just the stuff that's helped me so that I can help you make greater impact. Dr. Dan, I'm out.